Honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh, Yahawashi, peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. So today we're going to go into just a simple subject concerning the kingdom, because people have to understand how the kingdom operates and what the kingdom pertains into. Because basically what we're living in right now, we're living in a liberal democratic society. And when you think of liberal, that word of course is free, and then the democratic, that comes from the Greek word demos, which is people, and I think it's krotos, which is rule. Yep. So you're looking at the freedom of the people to rule. Yep. So in this society, the people rule. We're not in the kingdom, but the people are bringing forth the rules. So when you look at everything that's happening in society concerning government, this is because of what the people are wanting. Women have rights to kill their babies in a liberal democratic society. People have the right to take your property and you lose, and the people with the money win. This is what we have built over here. This is what the people love, and this is what the people want, because you vote for all of these things. Yep. But what's to come? What do we have to look forward to? Because if we continue on this is definitely going to be the demise of any living creature on this planet if this type of lifestyle continues on, because it's not pro-life, it's pro-death. And so what we need to create yes, this is not open. This is not open over here. Yeah, so when you look at society, we have to be looking not for a liberal democratic society, but we need to be looking for a kingdom. When you go into the prayer of the Heavenly Father, it states, "Hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come on earth as it is in heaven." So what does that mean when it says thy kingdom come on earth? That means that the way that things are set up in the heaven, he wants it here on earth. He wants it here on earth. And so this is what we need to be looking forward to, and training our minds to the mindset of kingdom mindset rather than a liberal democratic mindset, which is what everybody is operating into. Right. So we'll just start off with what the brother has here.
This is the book of Daniel, chapter 4, verse 17. This matter is by the decree of the watchers and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and setteth up over it the basis of men.
And look at what we have right now. We have a guy by the name of Joe Biden ruling this society. This guy is very base. His mindset is very base. His predecessor was very base. And so what happens is it doesn't get better, it gets progressively worse. So what do we need? We need a kingdom, not where the people rule, where the Heavenly Father establishes the ruler on earth.
That's right.
In righteousness. And who is that? So when you basically look at kingdom, you're basically looking at government. That's what you're looking at. Right. You're looking at the word, looking at government, how this particular individual is going to rule the people. Isaiah 9:6.
That's why the Most High gave a set of laws.
Oh, you got something?
That's why the Most High gave a set of laws to his people, man. So, in those laws, to give us some type of moral guideline to go by. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Like in this society right now, they don't have no moral guidelines, man.
Yep. That's right, man.
And without those moral guidelines, without no God, the Most High God, without him, who would be able to decipher right from wrong without the Most High? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, how can you decipher what's right and what's wrong? Yeah. Like, your opinion might be different from my opinion. But if we got these guidelines that the Most High set up to go by, he the only one that's going to judge. He the one got the last say-so.
Yeah.
Right. So, like, your opinion and my opinion might not be the same about what's right and what's wrong. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? With these rules, or these laws that the Most High got set up, that's what we supposed to go by.
Yep.
So these folks that holler about there is no God.
Yep.
Man, if this was no God, this place would be even in worse chaos than it is right now.
Yep.
And then the only place this place is really in order because of the righteous that's up on this place right now.
Yep.
Because of the Most High is showing mercy towards the righteous people that's up on this earth.
Yep.
Because a lot of these folks, because you can't just say that everybody born knowing right from wrong. They don't. Just like a kid don't know right from wrong unless he taught how to lie or how to steal or how to kill.
Yep. Yep.
But you know, you gotta have these guidelines, man, and that's the laws of the Most High. That's what's gonna guide, like say, in the kingdom.
Yep. Right.
This place don't have those moral guideline like the Most High laws is. This kingdom got laws, but they don't have no morality up in it for the people, man.
Yep.
To keep you on stable ground.
This is Isaiah chapter 9 and verse 6. For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder, and his name shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. And of the increase of his government and peace there shall be no end upon the throne of David and upon his kingdom, to order it and to establish it with judgment and with justice from henceforth even forever.
Now check this out. Whenever you go in history and you start to see the establishment of kingdoms, a kingdom is established. Now, what do kingdoms do? Kingdoms, the main goal for a kingdom is to expand territory. This is their main objective, is to expand territory. So they set up a kingdom and then they go and set up colonies. So a kingdom can be at this location, then they take an aspect of these people from this kingdom and go to another territory and take over that. That's called colonization. So the colonization means that you're bringing the laws and the standards of this kingdom into another territory, which is ruled by a king from over here, but that place is way out of his reach, meaning he can't just go over there, like walk over there. It's way, could be on the other side of the world or whatever. That's their colony. So now when the brother read that Isaiah 9 and 6, it basically stated, it's talking about Yahawashi. He said the government shall be on his shoulders. So now when you look at a kingdom, what do the kingdoms do? Whenever a kingdom establishes a colony in another territory, he brings somebody to rule that territory. Guess what that person is considered? That person is considered a governor. And the purpose of a governor is to take the mind of the king and govern that territory like the king is governed at the original territory. So now check this out. We're looking at Yahawashi right here. So this is Matthew 2 and 6. And it says, and thou, Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, art not thou the least among the princes of Judah? For out of thee shall come a governor that shall rule my people Israel. So Yahweh is the creator. He's the king. The king, Yahawashi, is the governor. So this whole world is going to be colonized by the king in heaven, because this world right now is currently ruled by a wicked rulership. Right. So being that they colonized all these places and took over everything from everybody, there's going to be a colonization of this planet again in righteousness. He's already stated who the governor is. But before the governor comes, let me tell you something. When you start reading the history of kingdoms, it starts to get real interesting the way that these things operate. Before when the people know that the governor is coming to a specific location, they would bring forth a person called a herald. A herald is like a messenger. He would say, the governor will be over here at such and such time. So even in the scriptures, we have a herald too. That's John the Baptist. He came out and he prepared the way for Yahawashi. The governor is getting ready to come. So he made the statement. Now when you go through the old kingdoms, you will see before the governor before the governor came, the people would go out and they would clean themselves up and make everything real neat, so that when the governor came, who's representing the king, they would all be back there and just be like, governor of such and such kingdom.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now look what's happening right now. If you're taking it to a spiritual aspect, you have to clean yourself up before the king or the governor comes, who is Yahawashi. How are you cleaning yourself up? All of it. One of it, I'm giving you an example of a carnal, but then we also have to touch the spiritual aspect of it. So before Yahawashi comes back, and we know he's coming back, we're trying to clean ourselves up, just like those people will see the governor coming and they say, oh, clean up the house, clean up, put on your best clothes. So now we have to do the same thing, but spiritually. We got to take all that bad stuff off of us, all that sin nature, and try to get our minds right and everything. So when the king comes, we can be presented as that clean bride for him when he comes to the scene. So that when he looks at it, he's like, oh, look at that. They've cleaned themselves up for my presentation, for me to come. So we're looking at how these kingdoms on the earth are established and how they govern themselves and how their processes are, and see how it links up directly with the scriptures. It's amazing to see that. So you got something?
Yeah, I got some. This is concerning, basically governments and order and rulership. This is 1 Peter chapter 2 and verse 13. Submit yourselves to every ordinance of man for the Lord's sake, whether it be to the king as supreme, or unto governors, as unto them that are sent by him, for the punishment of evildoers, and for the praise of them that do well. So when you go into even the back then, like the brother was saying, in any society, in any time we're in, that's why a lot of these Edomites, they deny what's called as white supremacy. Because whether to be as the king is supreme, meaning supreme, meaning if somebody is over you and supreme, that means they're above you in power.
Yeah, that's right.
Right? So when we talk about white supremacy, it's an actual real thing, because the Most High ordained it.
Come on, bro. Come on.
And the Most High ordained it, that means that there's certain people in position, in place to establish and to continue that rule.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
That's
right?
right.
Kings, governors, heralds, ambassadors,
ambassadors,
magistrates.
Right.
All these different things are things that are available in all these kingdoms that you look into.
Right.
If you look at even to the book of Maccabees, when certain things had happened, they didn't always, the king didn't come and do it himself.
Right.
And the situation with Nicanor, he sent Nicanor to go do his bidding.
Yep. That's right. Yep, that's right.
So it's the same thing with this. Now, in this society, one of the things that's deceptive in this world, the reason why these Edomites can always act like they're not, that there's no white supremacy, because there's no single established rule of a king monarch that people are seeing every day.
Yeah. Right.
They're changing the president every 4 years, and he doesn't even have real power.
Right.
He's really a figurehead that answers to bankers, that answers to elite families. There's literally nothing that he can do. All he's doing is serving the agenda.
That's right.
So a lot of times, this is part of the reason why people can run around with the illusion that there is no white supremacy.
Right.
And the illusion that we're all created equal.
Right.
That we all have the same rights.
Right.
That we all have the equal protection under the law.
Yep.
That's the reason why when we read further down in that Isaiah chapter 6, when you read down to verse 10, it tells you that he's going to establish justice.
Justice. Yep. That's
See,
right.
over here in this society, an average person can't get justice.
Right.
For wrongdoings that are done. See, in the land of Israel, we couldn't do things to the other nations if they didn't do anything wrong.
Yep.
They had to have done something wrong for us to do something to them.
Yep.
In this society, if we're the strangers of these Edomites in this society and they do something wrong to us, why are they not then punished? And this is one of the reasons why, because of their unrighteous dealings, they're the reason why they're going to fall as an empire.
Yep. That's right.
And like the brother said, they establish their means of control through colonization, through setting out their laws and decrees. And when you have law, you have to have what's called law enforcement.
Yep. Oh. Okay. Good one.
You have to have law enforcement to go with it. So they enforce certain things. So there's certain things that they are allowed to do. You can't do that. If your king if they establish a law that your son can go and change his sex, there's nothing you can do about it. And if you stand against it, they're going to take your kid and put him up in a foster care. And then they're going to basically help him transition to being a woman.
Now,
And that's because they've established power and dominion. Because a kingdom means king domicile.
Yeah.
Which domicile is the root word for dominion, to dominate. That's where the word dominate comes from.
That's good what the brother says, because you have to have law enforcement. Now remember, when Yahawashi was going out and finding his disciples, he would see them, walk past them, and he would say, he made a statement to a couple of them. I think it was Peter and somebody else, and he said, "Come," because they were fishermen. He said, "Come, I will make thee fishers of men." That was the statement that Yahawashi made to him. But piggybacking off what the brother said about the enforcers. Now listen to this. Yahawashi said, "I will make them fishers of men." Now this is Jeremiah 16:16. And it states, "Behold, I send for many fishers, saith the Lord, and they shall fish them. And after will I send for many hunters, and they shall hunt them from every mountain and from every hill and out of the holes of the rocks. For my eyes are upon all their ways. They are not hid from my face, neither is their iniquity hid from my eyes." Now, when you go into that and you understand, now this is a kingdom. If Yahawashi is the governor, he has to have enforcers with him.
Right.
He has to have enforcers with him. It's in Revelations. What is the Revelations? The ones that says faithful and chosen. These are my faithful. Is that Revelations 4?
Revelations.
Is that Revelations 4? It's talking about Yahawashi and
those that
are faithful. And what does it say? Faithful and something?
17.
Yeah, read that one out.
Revelation 17:14. "These shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them. For he is Lord of lords and King of kings, and they that are with him are called and chosen and faithful."
Okay, so
Called, chosen, and faithful.
Called, chosen, and faithful. So remember, Yahawashi made a statement. He said, "If this was my kingdom, my servants will fight."
Yep.
Those right there, called, chosen, and faithful. Those are going to be those hunters, those enforcers. Right. Those enforcers for the governor.
Come on, bro.
For Yahawashi.
Come on.
You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
So when you start to see how this thing is going to manifest, when that colonization happens, the hunters are going to come back and take over everything.
Yeah.
Matthew.
And when you say colonization, another word for that, which is the word that Esau doesn't like to use, which is more straightforward.
Yeah.
Because Esau uses that to soften up what really is. Conquering. Now when because you gotta conquer these people to make them submit.
Hey, that's it. And you have to have those enforcers.
You gotta have those enforcers that are gonna enforce what? The law. Right. Against something as well. What you looking for?
So I just wanted to bring this out real quick. Now listen to this parable right here. Because a lot of people will read this parable and it doesn't make sense to them because it's speaking of food. But you got to understand it in like the brother say, in a conquering mindset. Now this is Matthew 13:33. And he says, "And another parable spake he unto them. The kingdom of heaven is like unto leaven, which a woman took and hid in 3 measures of meal, till the whole was leavened." Now, if you understand what yeast is or what leavening is, if you mix yeast into dough, the yeast does not turn to dough. The yeast turns the dough leaven, and it makes it rise. So what does the leaven do? You hide the leaven in the meal, and it consumes the dough. It takes over the dough. So the dough is that substance that is being consumed by that leavening. So that means that the leaven consumes everything, which is what the kingdom of Yahweh, Yahawashi, is going to do to all kingdoms on the earth. It did. Go ahead and bring yours out. There's another one I'm thinking of.
This is Isaiah chapter 2. We'll start at verse 1. The word that Isaiah, the son of Amos, saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem. And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of Yahweh's house shall be established to the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow into it. Now the brother said out of every mountain and every hill, right? Mm-hmm. And what's that, Jeremiah 16?
Yeah.
And shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow into it. And many people shall come and say, come ye, and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of God of Jacob, and he will teach us his ways, and will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. And he shall judge among the nations, and shall rebuke many people. And they shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. So when this happens, the Most High is gonna establish a kingdom on earth that shall not be taken down, and by it it'll be a law and it'll be enforced.
Yep.
So you have to conquer. You have to conquer these people.
Yep.
Force them into submission.
Yep.
Force them to obey the law that's coming forth out of Jerusalem.
Come on, bro.
Remember?
Yep.
He said and that law is going to go into foreign lands.
Yeah, it's going to. Yep.
It's going to start from Jerusalem. It's going to go all the way to foreign lands, and they're going to have to follow that way.
Yep.
And if they don't, there's many scriptures in here that goes into the ramifications on nations that don't follow.
Yep. Yep. Now this is Daniel 2:44. And in the days of these kings shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed. And the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all kingdoms. Now remember that parable in Matthew 13:33 of the yeast and the hid in the dough.
Yep.
That yeast consumes that dough.
Yep.
Just the same way as the Lord's kingdom will consume all kingdoms.
That's right.
Yep.
Consume all kingdoms, and it shall stand forever.
And it all started really, if you want to look at more recent history, it started with one man, with Yahawashi, with John, preparing the way for Yahawashi. And that one event is now, and that's the reason why, if you look at it, why do you think vocab wants to stop the people from at least knowing who they are?
Yep.
It's manifested. That what John did started, it's starting to manifest. It's growing into something big. That's the kingdom.
And you saw all the Christians, they talk about it. The fastest growing quote unquote religion is Hebrew Israelism.
That's right.
That's the fastest growing religion, and they say that's the fastest. It's taking over the urban market. That's what's his name? Vocab calls himself an urban apologetics.
Yeah.
Because he's trying to prevent the tribes from converting over to their identity and eventually getting to this gospel.
Yep, that's right.
And that's why they can't believe at the rapid rate it's happening at. Because just like leaven, man, it just starts to consume and take over.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Until it rises. And you know, there's a God, I forgot his name. Do you know Hersey Financial?
No.
That Edomite is a financial guy. He's kind of young, man. The dude might not even be around probably 30.
No,
he has a YouTube channel. It's called Hersey Financial. And he goes over different financial news. And he just did a thing about kingdoms.
Yeah.
He did a video about kingdoms this week.
Oh, okay.
Right? And he talks about how kingdoms rise and fall. Mm-hmm. And then they have different, and then there's a book that was written by this author who goes into the metrics of how you can predict the rise and the fall of the kingdom.
Yeah.
Based off of like different things. And the first thing that a nation, before they take over, is they acquire knowledge.
Come on, bro.
Before their military comes up, before they establish their military, before they establish other things that empires use to control, eventually you get to what's called world reserve currency status. That's after you establish dominance. Then you establish the currency that the people that you dominate are going to use or be submitting to.
Yeah.
Which is the reason why they were under the fiat currency system, because that's the system that Esau used to dominate people.
Yeah.
Right? And if you, bro, there's things that a lot of people don't know about. Look up the SWIFT banking system. Mm-hmm. That's how a lot of these countries are controlled by what's called SWIFT banking system, which alludes to an eagle. Now, peep this. What we're doing right now is we're claiming the knowledge of the gospel.
Yeah.
So the guy showing you the first stage of a people, of an empire taking over, is them increasing in knowledge.
That's good.
Not even having military.
Man, I haven't even thought about that, bro. That's good, bro.
When I
That's
saw
good.
it, I was like,
that's good.
You don't know that this is lining up with what, but this is what they notice with every kingdom that rose and fall.
Now I'm gonna tell you how that lines in so good, because when you go into the Greek Empire, the first things that the Greeks did, they started to study the kingdoms prior to them. Alexander's fascination was with Egypt. The dude went into Luxor to gain the knowledge.
Yep, Philip, his dad.
Right.
Yep.
Philip sent him down to and had tutors that was teaching him about Egypt and all that stuff, and all these other kingdoms.
When I read into that thing,
right?
That's right. When I read into that thing, I found this little pamphlet that I have at the house, and it was showing how Alexander, when he went into the Luxor, they basically told him, they says, for you to gain all of this knowledge, you would have to fast, because when you fast, you are able to retain more information. This is what the pamphlet said. So Alexander fasted while he was learning, so that he could retain as much knowledge as possible. Yeah. So when the brother brought that up, it just threw me right back to that book. I had that little pamphlet I had read, and I thought it was fascinating. I was like, man, they made him fast to retain knowledge, but this was prior to him becoming the king of Greece.
Yep.
Bro, that's some interesting stuff, bro. That's some good stuff right there, bro.
Yep.
That's some good stuff.
That's before you establish your military. You got the people, the set of people that would take over would have to increase a certain level of knowledge.
Yeah, that's good.
And they showed that with everyone. That's how they showed it with China. They showed like you have literacy rates, the increasing knowledge among the Chinese population.
Yeah.
What did they do? They came to the West and learned the ways of the West.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Didn't it say in the book of 2nd Esdras that they likened themselves unto Babylon?
Yep.
How they wait and they followed after the ways of Babylon, right?
Yep.
So that's what they did. In order for China, that's why everybody believes, that's why a lot of these people out here believe that China is going to be the next superpower. Because if you look at the order and the things that they did, before they started to establish military dominance, they first educated their people. Yep. They got their literacy rates up. Now, there's a documentary, I think it's on Motherboard. Have you heard of Motherboard? I think this thing's called Motherboard. It's like a channel. It's like a YouTube channel. I think it's called Motherboard. You know what they showed on there? I watched this a couple of months ago. The reason why the Chinese had an explosion in everything from technology and all this stuff, because they began to teach the younger students how to use the computer. And if you look at the keyboard system, it's basically a Greco-Roman alphabet. Wow. So what the Chinese government did is they hired people that would basically do programming that would allow the people to communicate with the keyboards. Wow. You know how the Chinese characters is very different in writing. It's different strokes. So what they did, they programmed their computers in such a way that that as you're typing certain words in Chinese, in their language, it has words that will predict what your next word will be. Oh, wow. So this allows them to type words and information faster than people in the West. Wow. So this allowed them to get their programming game up, learning to code, program, write material, and things like that. And this was the reason why they had a boom in the 90s and 2000s with their population, because they went and made sure that their knowledge-based foundation was strong and on point. Right. That is literally the reason. That is literally the foundational reason as to why China became a world power. Man, see,
that's what like Galatians 4 though says. What like you under tutors and governors as a child before you inherited.
Come on,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you sure right. You sure right. You sure right.
Bro, it's a heavy documentary. Right. And bro, it's so heavy, bro. It's a heavy documentary. So now that's why they can do all this stuff fast. Because they taught the young kids at a young age how they switched up the whole programming of the computers. Yeah. Because before it would take them a long time to type out stuff because they're typing in Chinese characters. And look at that, and they did the same thing in Korea and all these other places. Where they said, look, we need a program that's going to allow them to use the same computer that Westerners use. And that can communicate information, and it's faster. So they can basically type something in twice the amount of time that we're trying to say. because their system, their program predicts the next word.
Bro.
So they can choose the character.
That's heavy.
And they don't have
That's
to
heavy.
type out the full character. So it's artificial intelligence. And the kids had to learn this system.
Yeah.
They had to learn this system. So there was a generation that they trained up.
So
that is the reason why now they are where they are today.
Yeah. So them jokers on a level that's surpasses, of course, America. And so, you know, if you was to look at it, China would be the next superpower, right? They would be the next superpower if Yahweh and Yahweh Shah didn't have have it written.
That's why this knowledge is a lot more valuable than you think.
Yep.
It is the basis of world domination.
Yep.
That's the reason why they want to keep us dumbed down.
Yep.
That's why they purposely miseducate. That's why they keep the Jake boys at the lowest reading level in the country. Because they don't want you to be able to process information. They don't want to be able to let you critical think.
Yep.
Now look at that, man. Hey, that's some heavy stuff.
They ain't gonna be able to stop it though.
They ain't gonna
be able to stop it.
Yeah, that's why.
Psalms.
Yep.
This Psalms 70. Let me get that. 75. Psalm 75:6. For promotion cometh neither from the east, nor the west, nor the south, but Yahweh is the judge. He putteth down one and setteth up another.
Come on.
So
that's a good.
Whenever our time come,
I like that.
Ain't nobody gonna be able to stop it. Yep. Because it's gonna be our power that's gonna be putting us in power. Yep. So it ain't gonna be nobody coming up against us trying to knock us back down no more.
Come on.
Like you read earlier, it's gonna be a kingdom that's gonna be established forever.
Yeah.
So it ain't gonna be nothing that nobody gonna be able to do to stop it.
So now look at this. Yahweh Shai comes in with a prayer. Hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come. We go through the scriptures, find out how it matches with what's happening here on earth. The king, Yahweh, sends the governor. The governor has his people, the faithful and chosen.
Yep.
He sends them as fishers first, comes out as hunters, comes and consumes the whole entire planet. Turns it back to the Most High. Now this is for you Christians. This is for you Christians. Because you always get confused as to who the Heavenly Father is and who the Son is.
Yep,
You're always saying
right.
that Jesus is God or is the Heavenly Father and all this type stuff. But just to let you know that when all of this stuff manifests and Yahweh Shai has did the bidding of the Heavenly Father, this will break it down to let you know that he is not the Heavenly Father, but he is in fact the Son of God. This is 1 Corinthians 15, and I'm gonna start at the 24th verse. It says, then cometh the end when he shall have delivered up the kingdom to God, talking about Yahweh Shai, even the Father. This is a distinction between he who's giving it, delivering the kingdom up to the Father, when he shall have put down all rule and all authority and power. Because remember, when Yahweh Shai stated in Matthew, all power is given unto me in heaven and in earth. He made that statement. But listen to what this is stating. It says, have put down all rule and all authority and power, for he must reign till he hath put all enemies under his feet. This is Yahweh Shai. He has to reign.
Yep.
The last enemy that shall be destroyed is death. Verse 27. For he hath put all things under his feet. But when he said all things are put under him, it is manifest that he is accepted. Meaning that Yahweh is outside of that rulership.
That's right.
He is accepted, meaning that he is not under the authority of Yahweh Shai. Yahweh is outside of the governing of Yahweh Shai. It makes sense to you. You got to read into that a little bit. Now listen to this. But when he said all things are put under him, it is manifest that he is accepted, which did put all things under him. Who put all things under him? The Heavenly Father did.
Sit thou at my right hand.
There you go.
Make thy enemy thy footstool.
Well, let me read it for you right quick. In the new, go ahead, go finish.
Verse 28. And when all all things shall be subdued unto him, then shall the Son also himself be subject unto him that put all things under him, that God may be all in all.
I don't even need to read the New Living. That cleared it all up right there.
So,
got any confusion?
So once the Lord of Lords and King of Kings, who is Yahawashi, has subdued all of his enemies and ruled for their thousands of years, guess what? He goes back under, he's underneath the rulership of him who gave him that power and authority.
Right.
So that shows you how this kingdom is going to be established. This is a quick little lesson that we just brought up on this kingdom.
Let me read that verse 27 in the New Living.
Yeah.
It says, for the scriptures say, God has put all things under his authority. Of course, when it says all things are under his authority, that does not include God himself.
Come on.
Who gave Christ the authority.
Woo! Come on, bro. That's heavy. I like that. I like that, bro. I like that.
Man.
I like that, man. I like that.
Glad I ain't a Christian.
Yeah.
They be the same person giving the same person.
Yeah, that's what I'm
That's how
saying.
being Christianity was
Yeah.
Trinity doctrine.
That's right.
So he gave it to himself.
The same who was with God, like in John 1. The
Yeah.
same one who was with God in the beginning.
Come on, man.
Come on, man. That's two people.
Y'all brothers got anything else?
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. This is Matthew 26:6. Now when Yahawashi was in Bethany in the house of Simon the leper, there came unto him a woman having an alabaster box of very precious ointment, and poured it on his head as he sat at meat. But when his disciples saw it, they had indignation, saying, to what purpose is this waste? For this ointment might have been sold for much and given to the poor. When Yahawashi understood it, he said unto them, why trouble ye the woman? For she hath wrought a good work upon me. For ye have the poor always with you, but me ye have not always. For in that she hath poured this ointment on my body, she did it for my burial. Verily I say unto you, wheresoever this gospel shall be preached in the whole world, there shall also this, that this woman hath done, be told for a memorial of her. And with that, we'd like to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahawashi. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom, brothers and sisters. We want to give all glory and praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahawashi. This is a channel update. We have some backup channels and a new channel created. Church of Yahweh Bashem Yahawashi Ba is a new channel that we'll be uploading regular content to. We also have the Spiritual Art of War, which is our backup page. We have Church of Yahweh Bashem Yahawashi is lit. There will be links in the description box so that way you can link, subscribe, and remember to hit the notification bell, because as you know, there's a suppression of the truth and many brothers and sisters are not able to get alerts of the content because there's a shadow ban on many of the pages throughout YouTube. And any additional pages or content that will be created in any other websites, we will update accordingly if time permits. Shalom.
Behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him. And all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him, even so. Amen. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the ending, saith the Lord, which is, and which was, and which is to come, the Almighty. This same Jesus which is taken up from you into heaven shall so come in like manner as ye have seen him go into heaven.